Good morning. Today, I will share my monthly trading results. The signal arrived on February 1st, on the daily chart. The price made a nice bearish movement, getting very close to the previous week's low. In the weekly analysis, I had indicated the directionality uncertain, so I preferred to follow this operation on the 4-hour chart. The following day, the price underwent a short retracement, ending with two modest bearish candles. I opened a trade by placing the stop loss on the high of the signal candle. The operation gave an immediate positive result, allowing me to close half the position in a few hours when the risk-return ratio of 1:1 was reached. I moved the stop loss to break even, leaving the other half open as I assumed a good range of movement that this trade could have made. Then, the price continued to fall, hitting the take profit. The signal came on Friday the 5th of February, at the close of the 4-hour candle. Generally I don't open trades on a Friday, especially in the afternoon, however I liked the signal pattern and so, I decided to enter the market anyway, not having any other trades in progress. The price tried 3 times to go higher, each time making lower highs. I placed the stop loss on the high of the candle, preceding that of the signal, which is a classic indecision candle. During the start of the following week, the price underwent a brief phase of indecision before to start a nice bearish movement. With the last candle, the price reached the risk-reward ratio of 1:1, closing half the trade. I placed the stop loss in a break-even position, to protect the other half from possible retracements. The price continued to fall without too much energy, so, I lowered the stop profit further. In the event of a retracement, the second trade would have been closed with a good profit, instead of breaking even. The price actually underwent a retracement, although not so large that it immediately hit the previous stop profit. However, the second part of the operation also closed very close to the risk-reward ratio of 1:1, so, I am satisfied with the positive outcome. The signal came on February 18th, at the close of the 4-hour candle. In the days before, the price has undergone an interesting retracement, starting to rise again and confirming the weekly analysis. I opened a bullish trade, but shortly after, the price underwent a strong retracement, which brought it very close to the stop-loss level one had set. Fortunately, the retracement stopped a few pips earlier, thus avoiding closing a trade which then generated a good profit. In trading, the luck factor has very little impact, and this is one of the rare cases. After the retracement, the price started to rise again, allowing me to close half the trade in a short time to guarantee me a good profit. I moved the stop loss to break even, to avoid hitting a new retracement. A few hours later, I decided to close the trade, in order to avoid staying on the market over the weekend. Overall, the operation was short but interesting. The risk-return ratio was just over 1:1. The signal arrived on February 18th, at the close of the daily candle. The price made a fairly frequent type of weekly movement, starting with a retracement that led it to bounce off the EMA 100, and then resume the original movement, confirming directionality. I opened a bearish trade, placing the stop loss a few pips above the high of the penultimate candle, which is a good sign as it is a failed retracement attempt. After a short retracement, the price has made a nice bearish movement, quickly taking me into profit. When I reached the risk-reward ratio of 1:1, I closed half the operation to guarantee myself a profit, moving the stop loss to break even. A few hours later, I decided to close the second part of the operation as well, to monetize before the end of the week. I am very satisfied with the outcome of this operation, which was really quick. The signal arrived on February 22nd. The price started the week with a short retracement, which caused it to bounce off the slow-moving averages. After the rebound, the price made a nice bullish movement, slightly exceeding the previous day's high. I opened a bullish trade, and after a couple of days of indecision and retracements, the price started to rise again, returning to the highs of the period. I immediately moved the stop loss to break-even position, since this exchange could confirm that it does not have much strength to make a good bullish move. Shortly after moving the stop loss, the price easily exceeded the period maximum, allowing me to close half the trade to guarantee me a profit. I raised the stop profit to protect myself from a possible retracement. A few hours later, the price actually underwent a significant retracement, closing the second part of the operation with a good profit. The signal came on February 19th, at the close of the daily candle. The price made a nice bearish movement, approaching the minimum of the period. Since the movement was already in a fairly advanced stage, I decided to follow this exchange on the 4-hour time frame. On the 22nd of February, the price made the movement I had been waiting for, retracing slightly to bounce off the slow-moving averages, and then go back down. At the close of the candle, I opened a bearish trade, placing the stop loss on the high of the day. As often happens, the price has undergone another retracement, this time quite intense. If I had kept a tight stop loss, I would have closed the operation with a loss. After the retracement phase, the price started to fall again, allowing me to close half the trade when I reached the risk-return ratio of 1:1. I also moved the stop loss to break-even position, to avoid taking a loss from the second part of the trade in case of retracement. I left half a day at the price to keep going down. Then, I also closed the second part of the operation. The gain achieved was interesting. I certainly could have waited a little longer, but I wanted to capitalize the end of the month with a very satisfying result. Then, this exchange has undergone a very large retracement, as often happens. This is one of the reasons why I always protect the operations, moving the stop loss to break-even position as soon as possible. If you want to see other operations, visit the weekly operations section of our blog. Thank you, and see you next month.